Wall Street has a secret society referred to as Kappa Beta Phi, and recently Kevin Roose, who is a reporter with New York Times Magazine, Kevin Roose, who is a reporter with New York Magazine, decided to infiltrate them and figure out what they do during their annual dinner. Well, he found that the top 1% is just as despicable as you can imagine. In fact, they got together and they made fun of the fact that they totally destroyed our economy. They made fun of the fact that they got a bailout from the government and U.S. taxpayers, and they dressed up in dresses and wigs. Now, just to show you a few pictures, it's a little bit like a fraternity where you don't necessarily get hazed, but they kind of roast each other a little bit. They're wearing funny clothing, they're cracking jokes at one another's expense, but when they crack jokes, they also make sure to make fun of the American people and people who are supposed to be regulating them at the same time.
Yeah, so when they dress up as women, it's fairly harmless. They, it reminds you of like an immature thing that a frat would do, etc. And then they've got the sexist jokes, the homophobic jokes. I'm not overly surprised by any of that. It's the part where they kind of rub it in on the American people and how they took their money. That's the part that rubs you raw.
Absolutely. So he writes the following. This is Kevin Roose from New York Magazine. He says, Warren Stevens, an investment banking CEO, took the stage in a Confederate flag hat and sang a song about the financial crisis set to the tune of Dixie. In Wall Street land, we'll take your stand, said Morgan and Goldman. But first, we better get some loans. So quick, get the Fed, man. Oh, very clever, very funny.
So it's not like they don't know it. They know it. Like, haha, we screwed everything up. It doesn't matter. We got our boys at the Fed, and they're just going to give us trillions of dollars anyway. Quick, get the Fed, man. We took all your money. Now we're celebrating at the St. Regis. They have a saying, what happens at the St. Regis stays at the St. Regis.
Yeah. At some point, Paul Quelly, he's a private equity executive with Welsh, Carson, Anderson, and Stowe, started making jokes with Ted Virtue. Virtue. He's another private equity bigwig. And they started making fun of Hillary Clinton. We have a video for that. Let's take a quick look and then we'll discuss.
Ted, how are you tonight? I know you're applying for membership at Kappa.
And I'm very nervous, Paul.
You should be. Look at your belly. Or is it that time? What we'd like to do, Ted, is we want to see if you're worthy. And Wilbur Ross, the Grand Swipe, has asked me to ask you a few questions.
Okay, I'm ready.
Well, Ted, the first question, this is very easy. Ted, what's the biggest difference between Hillary Clinton and a catfish?
Hillary Clinton and a catfish. I think one's feared in the water and one's feared on land.
Oh, Ted, no way. No. One has whiskers and stinks, and the other is a fish. What's in common? What do these two people have in common, Ted?
Stevie Cohen. Governor John Corzine. Steve Cohen and John Corzine. I'd say they're big titans on Wall Street.
No, they're future cellmates. Ted, what's the biggest difference between Barney Frank and a Fenway Frank?
Barney Frank and a Fenway Frank. I have no idea, Paul.
Oh, Teddy, Barney Frank comes in different size buns.
Oh, they're a clever bunch over there.
They're very, very clever. And so, I mean, it's amazing to me that they're so vicious toward Hillary, especially considering the fact that Hillary helps them out tremendously. She's a corporatist herself. But as Cenk mentioned in the production meeting today, it's still not enough. They want more.
You know that Goldman Sachs paid Hillary Clinton $400,000 for a couple of speeches? That's not for her speeches. They're not wowed by, oh, wow, look, did you hear what she said? Oh, that's worth $400,000. No, they paid her as an unofficial bribe in case she becomes president. And you know what she told them in that speech? She said, don't worry, you're going to get your money's worth, basically, because she told them the criticism that you bankers get is unfair. Meanwhile, look at what they're saying about her behind her back.
Exactly. Now, as part of this annual dinner, they have younger members of Wall Street come in, and it's almost as if they get sworn in. They get involved in the secret society, and it's like a rite of passage, right? And they refer to these young people as neophytes. And here's what Kevin Roose says he experienced with them. The neophytes, who had changed from their drag outfits into Mormon missionary costumes, broke into their musical finale, a parody version of I Believe, the hit ballad from the Book of Mormon, with customized lyrics like, "I believe that God has a plan for all of us. I believe my plan involves a 7-figure bonus. Amused, I pulled out my phone and began recording the proceedings on video. Wrong move." At that point, he got discovered. Okay, so
Before we get to that, I do want to say one thing about that. You know how the right wing and these guys who financially back the right wing pretend that they're all about God and all this stuff? And if you're a right winger who actually believes in God and it's not a punchline to you, well, the guys backing your Republican Party, and oftentimes Democrats as well, but these guys give a lot more money to the Republican Party, they're laughing at you behind your back. They're not just laughing at Hillary Clinton. You want to laugh at that joke? You want to laugh at the Barney Frank joke? They're laughing at you. They're like, what has God got for me? Better be a 7-figure bonus. God. Who gives a damn about God? I already bribed everybody. I'm going to get whatever I need. And if I don't get it, I'm going to go to the Fed. I got a guy there, right? That's what they think about you.
I know, it's disgusting. So at that point, he gets discovered. And that's when someone who was sitting at his table discovered that he was recording. He's like, "Who the hell are you?" And at that point, he has to admit that he's a reporter with the New York Times. And all of a sudden, panic sets in. And a bunch of bigwigs from Wall Street approach him, and they start trying to do damage control. One person who approached him was Alexandra Liebenthal. She's a bond investor. And she basically said the following to him: "Yeah, the people in this group could be very helpful if you could just keep their privacy in mind."
Oh, I love that quote. Because that's basically saying, hey, let us bribe you like we bribe everybody else, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, you snuck in here, you got it, you got some pictures, you got the tape, etc. But it's all right, we could be very helpful in the future. I mean, it sounds like a line out of House of Cards.
It's amazing. Now, Kevin Roose was not about to compromise his principles, and I absolutely love him for it. He writes the following: "I wasn't going to be bribed off my story, but I understood their panic. Here, after all, was a group that included many of the executives whose firms had collectively wrecked the global economy in 2008 and 2009, and they were laughing off the entire disaster in private as if it were a long-forgotten lark."
And one of the songs that they sang, and that's, again, the thing that gets under my skin here, was a parody of ABBA's Dancing Queen, and it was called Bailout King. They are the bailout kings, right? So they know they got bailed out. They know they got bailed out by you, and then they laugh at you behind your back. And then the guy who was the head of these proceedings is Wilbur Ross. He's the guy that he kept writing about, who's the leader of this group at the time when Kevin Roose had infiltrated it, etc. Later, in fact, this year, Wilbur Ross went on to say, the 1% is being picked on for political reasons.
Definitely. Yeah. These poor, wealthy people that totally destroyed the economy and then turn around and laugh at the American people and the politicians that look out for them, the politicians that they bought.
Yeah. They know they're the bailout kings. They know you bailed them out. And once somebody catches them saying it, they're willing to bribe them so that that doesn't get out. And then they turn around and say, oh, poor us. You're picking on us for political reasons. And so understand this is really important. It's never about bashing rich people. I'm sure even in that group, of course, there are plenty of people who earned it and who, look, there is value in finance, obviously, right? Making the right investments is helps the free market get to the. Now, there's some private equity that doesn't do that at all, that destroys value. But the main thing we're concerned about is rigging the rules so that you don't have free markets and that this isn't helping anybody except those guys in that room. And the way you rig the rules is you get rid of regulations, you get rid of taxes so that you pay lower tax than everybody else. That's what they've done. We're against the unfair rules. But here, by seeing the bailout king and all the other things that Kevin Roose explains, they know they're rigging the rules. They know it. That's why when they're caught, they get in a panic and they're like, who else do we need to bribe to make sure you don't tell the American people what we're up to? It's not that we're picking on you for political reasons. It's that you've been picking on all of us for political reasons so that you could get richer. If you just got rich in the fair market, whether it's Bill Gates, it's Oprah, or some of the finance guys that earned it the right way, we don't have a problem with that. We have a problem when you rig the rules, you take our money, and then you laugh at us over it.